Hi, my name is Josie, and this is my showsy.
Hey,
Hey,
how you doing?
I'm exhausted.
Why are you exhausted?
It's Christmas Eve, and we just had a lot to do with last minute gifts and opening gifts and just a lot going on and cooking and baking, and my brains are just like, and I am just like, wow. And then tomorrow's actual Christmas Day, and it's just gonna be like, need many naps.
Go.
Hey everyone, and welcome to a new Aquaman Josie Mental Health Monday. We are going to be talking about handling the holidays being autistic. It's not an easy task. It's not always a walk in the park, and it's not always your typical rom-com Christmas movie. Oberyn agrees. The holidays can be overwhelming for anyone. With it constantly shoved down your throat, what else are you supposed to do other than kind of politely deal with it? I mean, I'm not a Grinch. I love Christmas and I love the feeling of it more so. I'm not a Christian or anything. I don't believe in the religious aspects of it. But I do like the whole, being kind to thy neighbor, kind of give others and do unto others thing that comes up in the holiday season. Like we tend to concentrate more on giving and caring, and we stop being so selfish during this time of year. So I really like that, but it does get overwhelming trying to figure out, gifts and things like that. And for me, as an autistic person, I don't like surprises. And so the holidays is just chock full of surprises, and having to deal with those surprises can be a little nutty. Now, I love giving gifts, but sometimes receiving gifts can be a little crazy for me because I cannot hide my emotions or how I feel. Or I don't like to share if I'm too emotional. Like, oftentimes my friends give me gifts that make me cry or feel things, and I'm just like, this is nice, because I just cannot deal with my own emotions, and like I get overwhelmed by with what I'm feeling. So if they give me something sentimental, I'm like, what do I do? Alert, alert, high alert, what do I do? Oh my gosh, brain overwhelmed, can't function. So it's really hard for me to act surprised when I get a gift or something. Oh, it's what I always wanted. Actually, I already have one of these, so I guess I could use two of them for something cool. Now, I'm not even trying to be a douche canoe, but sometimes it just comes out. I have a very wide filter. It honestly doesn't filter much. And I just kind of say what comes to mind. I'm not trying to be mean, but if you give me something I already have, it's bound to come out that I already have it. But I swear to you, even if I already have it, I'll find a use for it. And I mean, I always appreciate a gift, no matter what it is. And I'm the type of person that I don't really need anything because, that can get overwhelming. But I do love it when people think of me, even if it's just like a handwritten note or a card or something. That really means a lot to me. So yeah, like with the whole gifting thing, I really love to gift, but getting gifts can be a little overwhelming for me, especially the whole waiting thing, because I have absolutely no patience. So like wondering what things are and trying not to be spoiled or ask people, oh, what is it? What gift is that? That can be pretty hard for me.
Another thing people often ask me about the holidays is, how do I handle these guys? This one went out. The thing is, I actually really like Christmas lights like this. I can sit and look at them for hours and mess with them, and I actually keep them in my house, as a decoration. Like, I have solid orange ones and purple ones in my bedroom, but the blinking lights and lights that are like too many colors, or the lights that have like the little dee 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 MIDI sounds,
I can't handle those. Like, seriously, like, those should be outlawed. Like, you should not be allowed to have them on past a certain time. If there's too much going on, I can't process it. I like watching, like, light shows on the television. That's easier for me to handle, but in person, it can be a little too much sometimes. It has to be done in a way that, like I said, I can deal with it. Like, some people do, like, their light show in sync with the music on, like, a radio show, and I kind of like that. That's cool. But it's just too much that doesn't coordinate. It's just too much for me to take in. Like, people need to calm down. Christmas lights can be a crazy situation for me, and I can't even imagine what kind of triggering things they can do for people with epilepsy. So, people are just too nutty with the Christmas lights. Handling the smells of the holiday is one thing. From sweets and treats to Christmas trees and cinnamon, there's scents everywhere. And combined with the lights and the sounds of Christmas and the holidays, it can be pretty crazy for me. Like, just too much. I do like the scent of trees. Like, the fresh nature smells don't really bother me. But those cinnamon pine cones, those things can give me a crazy headache. For me, artificial smells are what's super overwhelming. I use a wax warmer or incense in my house, and if the smells are too fake, I will get absolutely nauseous and just these crazy headaches. It's just too overwhelming for me, and it's just like I want to cut my head off. Like, I can't handle it. And so artificial scents tend to put my head in a tizzy and like give me super bad brain fog. Wow, just thinking about them gets me nuts. Super bad brain fog. So I tend to stay away from stuff like that. Like, I love, like, the more natural smelling something is, like natural oils and essential oils or whatever, that's what's best for me. Also, too much at one time. Too many scents at one time. Can't handle it. New Year's is fast approaching, so that means lots of poppers and other crazy loud sounds that I have to deal with. Also, drunk people. I don't drink anymore personally myself, aside from maybe a beer occasionally, even more rare cranberry vodka. So that's not something I get involved in, but I actually really like New Year's aside from, I like these to a point, they're kind of fun, but then after a while, the smell of the like gunpowdery stuff and like just the stuff that gets everywhere and the noise gets a little too much for me. But for a little bit, I actually really like them. And I do also like New Year's because it's a chance for everyone to kind of rethink their years and like what they did and what they'd like to do in the new year. And so I think it sparks a lot of change and positivity in people, and so I actually really like the new year because it makes people think. But at the same time, there's so much going on that it can be a little overwhelming. One thing I always like to remember for the holidays is just to give myself a lot of breaks, and if people don't understand that, that's kind of on them. I'm not the type of person to really go to a lot of parties, and it's not like my forte, so I like to do a lot of stuff in my own home. It's just so much easier. I don't mind hosting a few people, but I'm not the type of person to go to like some like crazy house party and be like, no, definitely not. That's just too much for me. But I do love to bake for my friends and cook for my friends and just have little kind of intimate get-togethers. But I definitely do make sure to give myself my space and time to relax and cool down and really make sure I have time to like meditate and center focus myself so that I'm not all over the place. I do a lot of my shopping online because that way too I don't have to deal with the crowds, because crowds are one of my crowds are one of my big problems. I do not like crowds. They cause some of my biggest meltdowns. Just being that close contact with so many people it's too much for me. Too many people, too many voices, too many sights and sounds. It's just too much. So I do a lot of my shopping, like I said, online through like Etsy or Amazon, because my friends are pretty quirky people, and I find the best gifts for them are in places where they have a little bit of everything. Another way I calm down is actually listening to a lot of the holiday music that I used to listen to when I was young with my parents. Like my dad passed away 10 years ago, so it's a way to think of times before anything was really a struggle and just music is a great way to get you in a mood, and I think that listening to holiday music, like, it's so upbeat, most of it, and just positive messages, that you really can't be sad, and it really helps to put me in a better mood. I'm the type of person that'll listen to Christmas music in July just because it is that type of, uplifting music, or watching Elf in, May, because it's like, oh, it just puts you in that mindset in that time of year when it's a happier, more positive time, albeit stressful. One of the biggest things is I have a really great support system. I have friends that are amazing, that just really try to understand me and ask me all the time, like, are you okay? Like, how does this affect you? How do you feel? And really want to get on my level and understand that my brain does process things differently, and it affects my motor skills, and it's not just a mental disorder that I'm facing. It's all over. It's who I am, essentially. I am autistic, not just a person with autism. So it's always nice when my friends like realize, like, oh, she's overwhelmed, and they put the pieces together, because when I can't really vocalize that, it's helpful when people understand me and can help me get to a place where I can calm down and explain to them better how I'm feeling. And I really am blessed, and I feel like this year I really saw who my true friends were, and I have an amazing group of friends that don't belittle me for like things, or don't make me feel like less of a person for how I might dress, or use me as the butt of their jokes. Like, I have people who legitimately are there for me, and remind me of the good in me, and helps me focus on my good. And so that's one of the best things, honestly, is having such amazing people in my life. Alright, well, that's it, guys. I hope you guys understood me a little bit more, and maybe how myself and similar autistic people handle the holidays. And just remember to be patient, and just try to be understanding. Sometimes it's hard for us to vocalize exactly what we need or feel, but having the patience there, and helping to put things together for us, and just really being open-minded to us is what we need, and it's so helpful, and we really appreciate it. Remember, everyone, to like and subscribe, and tune in to our next few episodes coming up the end of this week. Bye, guys. This is how I'm going to keep festive all year round. The Christmas is with Kylo Ren.